Welcome everyone. Today there is again another video about a natural disaster. This time it is about the Australian bushfire of 2019 during to 2020. Have fun watching the video. And make sure you like the video and subscribe on the channel. The Australian bushfires of 2019 to 2020 were a catastrophic natural disaster that caused significant damage to Australia's environment, wildlife, and economy. The fires, which burned across the southeastern states of Australia, were the worst bushfire season the country has ever experienced, with over 46 million acres of land burned, thousands of homes destroyed, and more than 30 people killed. The disaster also had a profound impact on Australia's unique wildlife, with an estimated 3 billion animals affected by the fires, including many endangered species. The bushfires were caused by a combination of factors, including a prolonged drought, high temperatures, and strong winds, which created perfect conditions for wildfires to spread rapidly. The human factors that contributed to the bushfires included arson, accidental ignition, and inadequate land management practices. While arson and accidental ignition were not the primary causes of the bushfires, they did contribute to their severity. In some cases, individuals deliberately started fires, and in others, fires were started accidentally due to human activity, such as campfires or sparks from machinery. Additionally, some experts argue that the Australian government's failure to implement effective land management practices, such as controlled burning, contributed to the severity of the fires. Australia's summer of 2019 to 2020 was the hottest on record, and many parts of the country experienced severe water shortages, which made it more difficult to control the fires. The role of climate change was also a significant factor in the severity and extent of the bushfires. The extreme weather conditions that led to the bushfires were exacerbated by climate change, which has caused an increase in temperature and a decrease in rainfall in many parts of Australia. The bushfires were a tragic reminder of the urgent need to address climate change and reduce greenhouse gas emissions to prevent further catastrophic events like these in the future. The Australian government and emergency services worked tirelessly to manage the fires and support affected communities, but the scale of the disaster was unprecedented. The fires were so large and intense that they generated their weather, including pyrocumulonimbus clouds that can cause thunderstorms and lightning, making it even more challenging to control the fires. The bushfires had a devastating impact on Australia's environment, including its forests, wetlands, and rivers. The fires destroyed habitats for many species, and the loss of vegetation has also increased the risk of soil erosion and flooding. The bushfires also had a significant impact on Australia's economy, particularly in the tourism and agriculture sectors, with many businesses and communities suffering from the aftermath of the disaster. The fires also highlighted the urgent need for Australia to take more action on climate change. Australia is one of the world's largest emitters of greenhouse gases per capita, and its economy is heavily reliant on fossil fuels, including coal. The bushfires drew attention to the connection between climate change and extreme weather events, and many Australians called for more investment in renewable energy and other measures to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. The bushfires also highlighted the importance of disaster preparedness and firefighting capabilities. The Australian government has announced new funding for firefighting equipment and training, as well as a review of the country's firefighting capabilities. There has also been a renewed focus on the need for better coordination between different levels of government and emergency services during times of crisis. In addition to the response from the government and emergency services, there was also a significant outpouring of support from the Australian public, with many individuals and organizations donating money and resources to support firefighting efforts and assist affected communities. The Australian bushfires of 2019 to 2020 were a tragic reminder of the impact that climate change can have on our planet and the urgent need for action to reduce greenhouse gas emissions and protect our environment. The disaster also highlighted the importance of disaster preparedness and response, as well as the resilience and generosity of the Australian people in times of crisis. This was the video about the Australian bushfire. I hope you learned something new about this natural disaster. Make sure you leave a like on the video and subscribe on the channel. I see you in the next video.